very important for us to watch the conscious activity of our minds, how we try to split things up into small pieces so that we can consume it with reason. This is happening all of the time. Things are being thrust into the foreground of our attention while everything else fades into the background. And because of this, we're never actualized by our lives as they present themselves, by the totality of our lived experience. We're actualized by what we want to see. There's a case in the Shōyōroku, it's the 91st case. It's called Nansen's Peony. And the case begins, attention. Riko Taifu on one occasion asked Master Nansen, Dharma Master Joe is exceedingly wonderful. He said, heaven and earth are of the same root. The 10,000 things are one body. Nansen, pointing to the peony in the garden, said, Taifu, people nowadays see these flowers as if in a dream. It's a subtle case. And we immediately want to try to see where it points. Right? So you can see your conceptual mind beginning to try to push things in and out of our conscious awareness. Where is it that he's pointing? What is he trying to express? Well, when we encounter this case, we recognize that the 10,000 things are, in fact, one seamless body. To grasp this root, you have to look. You have to look at the source of joy and sorrow, of heaven and earth, of Democrat and Republican, of right and wrong, enlightenment, delusion, as they rise and they fall within you. Do not chase after reality, nor try to push away delusion. This is the very essence of the fracturing discursive mind. When we see those two together, then we're actually present with our Buddha nature. This body appears and then it vanishes. That's nothing other than the reality of the cadence of our lived experience as it is. When you're truly present with life, when you're truly present with the circumstances, you recognize that there is nothing you can cling on to. There's nowhere to hold on to. The moment you hold on to one thing and say, hey, this is it, you've lost it. Even when we're awake, to say this is awakening is to lose it as well. It's always beyond naming, always beyond us trying to label it and create a reasonable scenario under which it exists. To divide things as real or unreal only strengthens this delusion. We have a strong tendency within us to try to judge our own appreciation of things, our own appreciation of our life as it presents itself. Sometimes we're thoroughly deluded. Sometimes we're trapped in our discursive thoughts. Sometimes we actually begin to cling to the labels. Others, we allow those to drop away, and we're present and free in this field of life where we're able to play and to give life and take it away with just a nuanced notion of our attention. But to say that one of those is what we want and one of those is what we don't want is the root of the problem that we wind up falling into when we split our conscious awareness into pieces. Master Nansen is pointing to this place. People nowadays see these flowers as if in a dream. What makes you think that dreams are only fantasy? While your waking state is somehow real. Even in the world of reason, we know that's not true, and yet somehow, some way, that's the unspoken assumption when we approach our life. Nansen, in a way, is pointing towards a waking state, but says it's intrinsically void. It's it's not real if you don't appreciate the sleeping state as well. If you know that these awakening and dreaming states are two sides of the same coin, then you also realize that real and unreal are also labels that are intrinsically part of the same thing. Take something in your hand. Take your own hand itself. It's utterly astonishing when you allow yourself to be present with it that way. Stop thinking, analyzing, judging, evaluating, and rationalizing. Just hold it. What is it? Is it real or unreal? Are you awake or you're dreaming? And when you're dreaming, right, and when you're imagining, notice the same wonder is present. Yeah? If I say the word flower, that evokes an image. Seeing a flower and thinking flower, it creates an echo where we see what the phenomenal world reflected in our discursive mind. But is what you see a flower? To try to dwell on one side of that divide creates a massive delusion. But even more importantly, beyond naming it, it creates a fundamental split from our true essence, from our true nature. Master Kise one time shared with his monks, sometimes the mind transcends words. Sometimes words transcend the mind. Sometimes mind and words both transcend themselves. Sometimes they neither transcend nor fall short. Western thought, the world we live in, sees everything as binary. It's right or wrong. Yet, when we begin to appreciate our lived experience, we see all the gradations, all the colors of our life coming to the fore. We recognize that there is no such boundary. Even though we try to categorize things, our reality doesn't operate this way. The flower can be both real and not real. It can be neither real nor not real. If you think that everything as it is holds enlightenment, then that idea is a dream as well. But appreciate it for what it is. Yeah. Even if we don't ever appreciate or study Zen, yeah, or experience what we call insight, or embody wisdom, yeah, that too is a part of it as well. Both enlightenment and delusion arise from the same root, from the same source. So what is this one root? And if you respond to that, know that that response and that responder arises from the same dream. Yeah. Sometimes it's sunny outside. Someday that sun is shielded by the clouds. It appears, it fades. Is it real or unreal? Just let that go. When we let go of grasping, even the concept of clarity or awakening, we rest in the natural, boundless essence of things, where all phenomena arise and fall without need for definition. Even the phenomena that arises, that is the definer, right? All of it is a part of the same mystery, and all of it has to be present. When we fracture ourselves into these infinite small self states, these different varieties of ego, the awakened one, the deluded one, and we take our attention and we place it in one or the other, then we're never seeing very clearly. We have to take a step back and see all of it reflected together, all of it present. That's the only way we can really appreciate our lives and to be actually truly actualized by the circumstances as they present themselves. It's the only way where we can actually manifest as true compassion. So we stop drawing these distinctions. Once we embrace the mystery of our life as it is, we recognize there's nothing to attain and nothing to abandon, in so much as we would call it that. And then we can actually appreciate the joy in the eyes of a child, yes? Or we can see the fear that's present and walk right into it and embrace it. And with it, reconciling ourselves with the parts of humanity that we want to deplore. Once you recognize that there is no distinction between the landscape of things that you think are good and the things that you think are bad, then you can actually walk into your life and truly be the master who's present, who's always free. Just let go of grasping, even the concepts of clarity or awakening. And then you'll see what's right in front of you. Then you can get on with your life as it's presenting itself.